All right, fine. Floyd, here I can't say that off, right?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. We last week, as the Deputy Chairperson of the Board of SAA, last week we tabled an urgent matter of national public importance in Parliament for debate, and it was primarily about the South African Airways. We were concerned that there were two members of board. When we actually raised the issue, there were two members of the board of SAA, and there were reports that the company might face liquidation if urgent interventions are not made in SAA. And then we debated there and made specific observations because a new board had been appointed afterward, requested for a debate to happen. And we raised specifically our concern about the reappointment of the chairperson, Dumieni, to say that she presided over a largely incompetent board that is reflected in the numbers, some of which were being presented with here. That an incompetent and mostly directionless in terms of some of the commitments that SAA would come and make here in Parliament and couldn't achieve them. And we got assurance from the Minister of Finance that as the new board, you are going to competently turn around SAA. So I get a report that you met on Sunday. Perhaps you must tell us what are you going to do differently to what has been happening for the past 3, 4, 5 years under Dumieni, who misled the board and took senseless decisions on many critical things that relate to the airways. What decisions have you taken? Because we're sitting now with a team of actors in the executive. Everyone who seems to be acting. It's a drama. It's a soapy, it's a bio or generations where acting CEO, acting CFO, acting general manager for human resources, acting everything. There is no one who is appointed into that position of responsibility that are very important. My courses says it in English that they've got fiduciary responsibilities and they must be prudent when they deal with the finances and all those things. They have to be given the full-time responsibilities, but they are almost all of them acting. What are you going to do about that, and what are your time frames? That is the board. So the Minister of Finance spoke on your behalf, so you must speak on your behalf now. You're at the meeting. When are you going to appoint non-actors into the positions of executive in SAA so that there is a clearly defined turnaround strategy and plan for SAA? I'm very suspicious of this acting CEO of SAA because in the last meeting where he appeared as an acting CEO, he exuberantly said, no, we're going to turn around the issue of the diversification of the suppliers base of SAA. And he made a commitment there, a very brave commitment, that within a few months would have dealt with the 30% achievement, 30% of suppliers of SAA. And I said to him then that, why do you make such commitments? We had a meeting in G026. We made lots of commitments about diversification of the supply base of SAA. I think you must account on that, on what exactly happened, what has been done since the last meeting. The answer will reveal those, unless if it's a different actor as well, because there have been so many acting after acting after acting in SAA. We must be given And I even get worried when he says here now that he is distracted by the media. That is why there are problems in SAA. What kind of an executive is that who says, I'm distracted by the media? So you read the newspaper and then you don't do your job. Or you watch news that SAA is not doing well and then you neglect your work because of media. And then we must take such an individual serious.
I don't think he literally meant that. You're being surrealistic.
So because he said that he's distracted by the media and it must be, maybe he must respond for himself, he must defend himself. And I think that one of the things which the board must be aware is that you must also assess the competence of these actors that are in SAA now. That is the urgent thing that you must have to attend to. Because if we had a competent executive in SAA, even with the madness of Dudumien, some of the calamities that came to define SAA would have been avoided and prevented, because she, with evidence, tries to interfere with procurement processes, wants to line up her friends and family members to benefit out of the procurement processes of SAA. She gives instructions that are not legal in terms of what should happen on the procurement processes. And that is one of the things that you must be fully aware of as the new board, and then develop a plan that you might be, if you for some reason think that you're inheriting an entity with competent management, you might be misleading yourself. You must look into that closely, into some of the management decisions that had been taken, because if people do illegal things, they can't justify it on wrong instructions. People are falling today because of taking wrong instructions in NPA and everywhere else. So you must look into that. I'm working on the basis that we're given an assurance that you are a competent board, Mr. Tise. We're told that, Mr. Malulek, we're told that you are competent, Ms. Trifosa Ramano. They told us that you are very competent. So what are you going to do differently to? And then maybe management must appraise us. I'm sure the board will not be aware of the exact details of the deal that he had with BNP Capital. What were the agreements? What was the scope of work that it was given? And what has it done thus far? And what was the causes of the cancellation of the contract that they were given to perform the functions that they had performed? I just need appraisal. I don't have a view about it. We'll then possibly formulate a perspective once you've appraised us. Thank you.
Who's next, whoever is. Can I just, Advocate, ask you, is it appropriate to say that somebody's mad or not? I don't know. Mr. Mania, don't complicate life here, right? Let's deal with the issue. Mr. Mania, now don't make life difficult here, man. I'm chairing, man. Please, let's deal with the substance. I know what he's trying to say, but I have to do my job as a chair, Floyd. And it gives me no pleasure to have to do all this. Let me tell you, now Advocate Jenkins, guide me. Can you say that somebody is mad?
Chairperson, you can, I said the madness of the decisions. We have never spoken about the
madness of the decisions.
The madness of the decisions,
okay.
the insanity.
Okay, that's fine, I withdraw it. If he said madness of the decision, some of you may not like it, but that's tough. Okay, if he says a madness, that's different. So what did he say, Advocate Jenkins, and is it appropriate? I'm not the Speaker of the House. We're going to be productive here. You ask them 1,000,001 questions. Now don't complicate life. Advocate Jenkins, is what he said, whatever it is he said, appropriate or not? And why?
Chair, I can only answer whether it's parliamentary or not. I don't see a problem with the speech as unparliamentary, but whether it's appropriate, that's
no, that's different.
That's fine,
yeah.
yes.
Okay,
Thanks,
you
Chair.
get what I'm trying to say. Fine. Next, please.